was watching the OG of all this shit, bro. Mike Corzamba, bro. What you know about Mike Corzamba? Nothing, bro. You know nothing about Mike Corzamba, bro. Bro, Mike Corzamba was the GOAT, bro. He was the GOAT of sports, bro. Oh my, bro. Mike Corzamba, bro. How his NBA star became homeless? Fuck it, why not?
I'm not the leader of the game.
This is Delonte West's story. Delonte had one of the toughest childhoods in the NBA. He grew up in poverty, parents divorced, kids would constantly bully him around red hair, making him feel like an outcast. For years, he struggled to fit in. The only thing Delonte had was basketball. That's what gave him his ego, his identity. And as a kid, it was the only thing that made him happy. But when Delonte turned 12, he suffered his first devastating injury, and it left him sidelined for months. This was the first time he wasn't able to drown out his thoughts with basketball, and he spiraled into a deep depression. His mom saw he was struggling and decided it'd be best for him to live with his dad for a bit, but this only made things worse. His dad couldn't care less about what he was going through, and his new school was full of kids that were bad influences, opening the door for him to start experimenting with prescription drugs and alcohol. It wouldn't be until his leg injury healed that Delonte could feel somewhat normal again, back to distracting his mind with basketball. And by the time he got to high school, he ended up turning into a star athlete, averaging over 20 points a game. It was obvious this kid had all the talent to make it to the NBA. Then in college, he took things to another level. During his junior year, Delonte and Jameer Nelson, a future NBA player as well, were known as the...
Bro, what y'all know about Jameer Nelson? This guy said this guy fucked LeBron's mom. That's Jesus.
It's a game. It was obvious this kid had all the talent to make it to the NBA. Then in college, he took things to another level. During his junior year, Delonte and Jameer Nelson, a future NBA player as well, were known as the best backcourt in basketball, and they torched through the regular season. Delonte was averaging 19 points a game, and the two stars led the St. Joseph Hawks to a 30-2 record.
Crazy.
This officially put Delonte West's name on the map. With the 24th pick in the 2004 draft, it became official. Boston Celtics selected Delonte West, and he accomplished his childhood dream. But as quick as things went up for Delonte, they began crumbling down. Injuries derailed his first few years in the NBA, and it wouldn't be until a trade in 2008 that the world would really get to know him, for good and bad. Delonte was traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers, giving him the opportunity of a lifetime, playing with LeBron James as the Cavs' starting point guard. This was the moment he was waiting for. But his years with the Cavs would also be filled with controversy. It started with him lashing out at teammates during the preseason, which made the Cavs force Delonte to take a break and talk with a doctor. And he ended up being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. This meant Delonte would have extreme emotional highs and lows. So he started taking medication, talking to professionals, and learning to live with this. But that was just the beginning of his troubles. Behind the scenes, Delonte had a secret life that no one knew about. In September 2009, he was arrested while riding through DC on his motorcycle. He was pulled over and had 3 different guns on him. And with that, Delonte's name was in headlines everywhere, and people started questioning what was going on in his life. He ended up getting a slap on the wrist, sentenced to 8 months of house arrest, 2 months of probation, and 40 hours of community service. Then the following season, Delonte was involved in a controversy that not only left a stain on his legacy, but also LeBron's. The Cavs went into the 2009-2010 playoffs with the best record in the NBA, and LeBron was on a mission to get his first ring. But after going up 2-1 in the semifinals against the Celtics, the Cavs lost 3 straight games and were knocked out. LeBron went from an MVP player to disengaged, and sports shows immediately jumped on the story of LeBron's meltdown, trying to figure out what happened. And they uncovered something no one saw coming.
Wait, what happened,
Delonte West was sleeping with LeBron's mom, allegedly. Rumor has it, LeBron found out that Delonte was hooking up with his mom during the Boston playoff series, and it completely threw him off his game. And just like that, the two players became the biggest sports topic in the world. Are you serious? Then, to make matters worse, the Cavs decided to trade Delonte away to the Timberwolves, and they waived him immediately. He then went on to sign a one-year deal for the 2010-2011 season with the Celtics, but he had the worst year of his career, so they dropped him faster than they got him. It seemed like everything was falling apart, but luckily, one more team was willing to give him a chance: the Dallas Mavericks. They saw some value in the years of experience he had playing alongside LeBron James. So, the Mavs signed Delonte to a one-year deal for the 2011-2012 season. This season was one of the most controversial in NBA history, and it put Delonte in a position he hadn't been in since his middle school days. The NBA officially went into a lockout during the 2011 offseason due to players and owners not being able to reach an agreement with the players' union. This meant no teams could sign or trade players weren't allowed to use team facilities, and no one was being paid. For the first time in Delonte's career, he wasn't getting a consistent paycheck, and it turned out he hadn't been handling his money well at all. Delonte and his family had $1 million 8-bedroom mansion in DC, and he could barely afford that when he was getting paid. During the lockout, a water heater broke, and the family had to heat water up on a stovetop just to take a bath. The situation got so bad that Delonte, while being an NBA player, had to go get a job at Home Depot. This guy literally worked at Home Depot during the lockout. He was disgusted with himself, and he wanted to get rid of anything that made him feel like a failure. So Delonte started selling every single piece of memorabilia he had. It got so bad that when Delonte couldn't find a buyer, he would just throw the memorabilia away, just trying to erase all the pain he was going through. This lockout was one of the most difficult times in Delonte's life. Luckily, it was short-lived, and by January 2012, the NBA was back in session, and Delonte still had an opportunity with the Mavericks. After hitting rock bottom, Delonte was given one last chance to turn things around. The only question now was, can Delonte actually bounce back? Even with everything going on personally, Delonte proved he could still be a solid role player in the NBA, bringing his numbers back up to nearly 10 points a game throughout the 2011-2012 season. But Delonte was still struggling personally. His criminal record kept him from getting a place in Dallas, so he was forced to sleep in his car and even the Dallas locker room. Luckily, he was working for a guy who seems to genuinely care about his people, Mark Cuban. And as soon as Mark heard about Delonte's situation, he went and got him a place approved. Delonte seemed like he had a great setup here in Dallas, but still, he couldn't stay out of his own way. Going into the 2012-2013 season, Delonte signed another one-year contract with the Mavs, and he was playing hard during the preseason games. A little too hard. He started snapping at not just officials, but his teammates. And this all hit a boiling point on October 15th. After a preseason loss, Delonte went ballistic on his teammates in the locker room. Are you serious? And the Mavs had enough, so they suspended Delonte for conduct detrimental to the team as a warning shot. But just 10 days later, Delonte blew up on his teammates again after another preseason loss. So the Mavs hit Delonte with another suspension. And just a few days later, he was waived from the team, officially marking the end of his NBA career. At the time, Delonte was renting an apartment with a balcony that overlooked the Mavericks arena. And Delonte sat up on that balcony for days, watching fans pile into the arena, crying his eyes out, thinking about what could have been. But he had to move on.
It's his fault, gang.
For a couple of years, he played for teams out in China and Venezuela, but never found stability. In 2015, Delonte made his way back to the US, playing for the Texas Legends in the G League. But it wasn't long before he suffered a season-ending injury in April of 2015. This marked the end of Delonte's basketball days and opened the door for the darkest chapter of his life yet. Delonte West completely disappeared. No one was talking about him. No one had any idea what he was up to until these pictures went viral in 2016. A fan ran into Delonte at a gas station and recognized him, so he wanted a picture, but what he got was a weird experience. The fan posted these pictures with the caption, "Bro had a hospital robe on like he escaped from the psych ward or something." I asked what happened, and he said life. Damn. It's clear just looking at these pictures that he wasn't on planet Earth. Nowhere close. I wouldn't call him homeless here though. It looked like he was going through a lot, and it was taking a toll on him for sure, but homeless? Not yet. After these pictures went viral, we wouldn't hear the name Delonte West for years. No one knows what he was doing. All we know is that the next time we saw him, he was in a graphic viral video being attacked in the middle of a highway. This started going viral in early 2020, and there is a part 2 of the aftermath showing Delonte West shirtless, handcuffed, and in a rage.
I'm leading the goddamn Navy SEALs and the Army and the Navy. I'm what President Trump. I'm the real president.
I'm the real
I'm not
president.
the leader.
He's
All
fucking.
the gang.
Oh, yeah, he's fucking.
At this point,
universe,
it was
bro.
more than clear.
Oh my God.
Delonte West needs help immediately. And as these
Nice,
videos went
folks.
viral, Delonte's former college teammate Jameer Nelson posted this message online, begging for Delonte to get help and spreading awareness on how serious mental health really is.
Nah, he's bad.
But nothing really came of this, and it wasn't long until he once again disappeared for months. The next time we saw Delonte was September 2020, and it was clear that he was at rock bottom. What does a homeless NBA player look like? Well, a heartbreaking picture started going viral, showing Delonte on the streets of Dallas with a cardboard sign, begging for money. This time, when Delonte went viral, things felt different. This picture took the internet by storm, and the NBA world started rallying together to try to get Delonte some help. Anyone and everyone that ever met Delonte was posting online, begging for someone to get him help or offering it. Even LeBron wanted to fly Delonte out to LA and offered to spend whatever money it took to get him back on his feet.
Crazy.
But no one could find him. Every minute was important. It felt like it was a matter of time before things hit a point of no return. Thankfully, there was one more person trying to hunt Delonte down. Mark Cuban. Mark saw these pictures and videos go viral throughout 2020 as well. And as soon as he saw Delonte was in Dallas, he started making every call he could to try and find him. A few days went by, and Mark was able to get a hold of Delonte. They agreed to meet at a gas station in Dallas where Mark picked him up. Not long after, Mark confirmed with reporters that he did pick him up, saying, "I could just confirm that I found him and helped him. The rest is up to Delonte and his family to tell." And we didn't hear anything about Delonte for another month or so. Then, out of nowhere, Mark shared a couple of pictures and an update, saying,
That's good.
"Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Delonte West. A long way to go, but he's taken the first steps and shared these with all of us as a thank you for the love and support." For the first time in years, Delonte looks alive and happy. And now it's being reported that Delonte has a job working for the same rehab center that he attended. From NBA player to homeless, this might be Delonte's last opportunity to save himself.
Nah, that's a good video. That's a good video. That's a good video. That's a good video, bro. I can't even lie. That's a good video. That's a good video, bro. That's a good video. Dang, bro. Damn, bro. That's a good video. That's a really good video.